This week I'm going to be chronicling... Oh, she's pooping. There she goes. Picking up. I'm attempting to stop multitasking for the entire week. I'm hoping it'll improve my productivity and also make me a little bit less stressed and just keep me more organized and on task. But multitasking is also a bit of a nebulous thing. It's not as easy to define as, let's say, stop drinking or stop smoking. So I've given myself a few rules for the week to help me do that. First rule is don't trust myself. So I'm getting rid of distractions. I'm taking social media stuff off my phone. I'm keeping my phone in my bag while I'm working. I'm even going to try to minimize the amount of tabs I have open at one time on my computer. Step 2, and I think this one's going to be really key, is organizing my day the night before. So when I get home, I'm going to open up my calendar and look at all my tasks and designate what I need to do the next day as specifically as possible. So rather than saying, oh, I have 5 hours in the afternoon to get work done, blocking that off, I'm going to break up those 5 hours into 2 hours of editing this video, and then you get 30 minutes to check email. I hope that timing even these really small tasks is going to keep me more organized and more focused. I think today's going to be a pretty good introductory day for me to start this because it's a busy day. I have a meeting in the morning, an interview in the afternoon, and another meeting in the evening. And between that, I only have about 2 hours maximum of free time to organize. There's not a lot of opportunities for me to slip up and get distracted and start multitasking. But my big assignment for today is going to be using those 2 hours to edit in a lab downtown because I'm working on a wedding video and my laptop is not strong enough to complete it, so I have to use the lab computers, and hopefully I'll be able to utilize those 2 hours without distractions, without jumping around and trying to finish other tasks. Hello, Future Connor here with an answer to what I think is a very important question. Why do this? I think we all have an understanding to some degree that multitasking isn't always a good thing to do. And when it becomes crunch time or we have a really big project to work on, I think most of us are pretty good at putting aside other tasks and saying, okay, it's time to focus on one thing right now. But multitasking can't be bad all of the time, can it? I mean, sometimes you just need to get more done at once. It can't be that big of a deal. So why is it that I've decided to go to the extreme and put aside multitasking entirely? Well, for one, studies do show that multitasking causes your task to take longer to finish, and it also produces lower quality of work. But more interestingly, multitasking is also shown to lead to less sleep, more feelings of isolation, and a lower quality of experiences. We take in much less information when we multitask. Double booking our time not only causes us to do things worse, it also often leaves us feeling worse. And I know I was experiencing this in my own life up to this past week. I'd felt myself becoming forgetful and scatterbrained. I was losing track of meeting times and emails. I also was having trouble fully engaging with my work. When I was doing one edit, my brain kept wandering to another project, or when I was in a meeting, I was worried about what I needed to do that night, and vice versa. I couldn't live in the present, and considering I'm 22, just out of college, I think the present is exactly where I should want to be right now. So I cut down hardcore in an effort to reset myself and teach myself to be in the moment again. And here's what I discovered. Being really diligent about scheduling my days was key to this whole process working. If I had too long of an open block to work without any kind of structure, I found the floodgates of my brain starting to open. First, it would go from an edit to answering emails, then to working on a different project or going through some photos, and all of a sudden I was opening up Facebook, which was the last thing I wanted to do. But if I had everything blocked away and knew what I needed to be doing hour by hour, or even within a half hour, 15-minute chunks, I found it a lot easier to focus. Not trusting myself was also a really key element in all of this. I took social media off my phone, and that was truly half of the battle. For anybody else who's a video person out there, you might be able to relate to the fact that I found render times to be some of the hardest to deal with. It's usually this 20, 30, 40-minute span where I can't really do anything else on my laptop. It's too slow to edit anything else, and sometimes too slow to even check my email or go onto some kind of browser and start writing. Everything lags, it's awful. So what I started to do was take very purposeful breaks. That meant that if something was rendering or there was a period of time where I couldn't really get anything done for my computer, I stepped away. I found that stepping away, rather than struggling to get something else done on my computer while I was preoccupied with rendering, really reset my mind and refreshed me a little bit. I was coming home from an end of a workday a lot less tired than I normally am. One of the other tactics that kept me from multitasking and also re-energized me a little bit was putting my phone down right after I had finished scheduling each night and trying to give myself about an hour or so away from social media, away from emails entirely. I also wouldn't pick my phone up until after I had taken my shower the next morning, so I wasn't groggily waking up from bed, opening my phone and spending 15-20 minutes just scrolling through random things and not really getting anything done. And all these tactics worked pretty well. I got a lot done this week.
So it just got done raining for about 2 minutes, and through all the rain clouds, but I see blue skies over that way. So I think we're gonna risk it. It hasn't rained so far, it's just been drizzling very slightly, which I can take, so I think I made a good choice. Also, you cannot say no to that view. That is a gorgeous view.
When it came time to take a break, when I got home after a long day of work, I felt like I deserved the time to relax. I could look back through my calendar and see what I had accomplished that day. And even though everything I needed to get done might not have been completed in that very moment, I knew that when I got back to it the next day, I had a structured list of tasks that I would complete.
Siggy, love me. Love me.
Oh. No. And I think the real benefits of monotasking hit me the most when I got home in the late afternoon one day this week. Aiden was taking a nap on the bed, and 9 times out of 10, this would be when I would go, oh, I have an extra 20 minutes to get things done. I'll sit on the couch and bang out a couple emails or get a teeny tiny piece of this edit finished. And by the time they woke up, I would usually be in full work mode already, or I would have gotten distracted by something and not gotten anything done, and I would be frustrated with myself. But this time, I saw them taking a nap and thought, hey, I got the things I needed to get done. I don't have anything scheduled right now, and this is my time to relax. I have to lay next to them and hold their hand and just be in that moment. And for the first time in a while, I didn't feel my mind wandering. I was completely 100% present with them. Just as I was present with my friends when we hung out later that night and got some food. I've felt engaged and energized, and little things are bringing me more joy than they usually do. And yes, I am getting more work done. If you're interested in trying this sort of more abstract challenge, it doesn't really have any super solid rules. It's kind of dependent on what works best for you, but I will put on the screen right now things that worked for me and kind of the guidelines I set for myself. And if you want to learn more about this topic, I really recommend a TED Talk by Cliff Nass. I'll put the link in the description down below. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your time and energy. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I hope you have the opportunity to take it one thing at a time.